last time the Global Wellness Summit was held in Asia, it was 2013, and we were in New Delhi, and the Dalai Lama helicoptered in. We were about half the size then. I'm not referring to our waistlines, but the number of delegates in the room. But to give you context on how far our industry has come in just 6 years, I remember during that summit that a report was released valuing the global wellness tourism economy at $439 billion. Last year, that sector alone jumped to $639 billion. But what was most remarkable was the value given to the entire global wellness economy at $4.2 trillion. That was just accomplished in 6 years. But perhaps nowhere is this exponential growth more apparent than in Asia. Many experts and economists have been calling this the Asian century, and for good reason. We just win in size. With 4.6 billion people, we are over 60% of the world's population. In fact, by next year, we will be home to half of the world's middle class. So imagine that, all of these people buying refrigerators, automobiles, going on trips, all for the first time. We are urbanizing faster than any other region, with 21 of the world's 30 largest cities in the world is in Asia. And it's been reported that the Asian economies will be larger than the rest of the world combined, and driving 40% of the world's consumption. Simply said, Asia is on track to top 50% of global GDP. So imagine those numbers, and those numbers don't lie. And if you think about tourism alone, Asia posted the highest growth of tourist arrivals at 348 million last year. So I cannot overstate the amount of investment in innovation and infrastructure today, shifting the world's center of gravity to Asia. Now, with all of these geopolitical and socioeconomic factors colliding, Asia has the ideal conditions for a wellness boom to take place. For as Asia ascends, that comes with all of its opportunities, it also comes with its sets of challenges. We have a swelling population, aging population, coupled with declining fertility rates. As our women are becoming empowered, they don't want to have children anymore. We have critical environment issues that need to be addressed, looming health crisis, dense metropolises compromising the quality of life, and a few trade wars to sort out. So I'm going to make a very bold statement because I have the podium today, and I probably never will. I will say that while the ancient Greeks and Romans may lay claim to the origins of wellness, Asians' ancient healing practices, our design narrative, our customs, our rich traditions, our youth, our modernity, our aspirations, our ambitions will continue to influence the future of wellness. In fact, I will go so far as to say that if you look at modern wellness today, you are seeing it through the eyes of Asia. Now, looking ahead, while the last 2 decades were driven by what I call a design mandate, that means everything that we did, everything we created had to have a very strong design DNA. I will say that the next 2 decades will be defined by me trying to look for the clicker, by the wellness imperative. You heard it here first? No, I'm just kidding. But basically, a wellness imperative that will inform the way we build our cities, our homes, our communities. It will define how we create new technology, how we develop products, as well as design new experiences. So everything will be looked through the eyes of wellness. And it doesn't mean just within our sectors, but outside it. Now, It has been a privilege of a lifetime for me to serve as your co-chair this year. At the start of this journey, I wrote my long wish list of topics that I'd hoped to put forth. For once, I really wanted to make sure that we address aging because I think how we are recontextualizing aging in this region is very exciting. But it is also a very critical issue for us because for many of our countries, in a matter of a decade or so, at least a third of our populations will be people over 60 years old. But it's also for selfish reasons because I am aging, so I need to know how to do it well. But I also wanted to bring purpose into our discussion. After all, 40% of the world's 5,000 largest companies are Asian. And if I can put purpose into the center of corporate Asia, imagine what the future will mean like. And of course, wellness tourism, sleep, mental wellness, technology, and so much more will be discussed in the next few days. And lastly, I wanted to take this opportunity to widen your understanding of China beyond the headlines. And I want to thank the team at Agility Research, who has commissioned a very special research, consumer research, for China's Generation Z, which will be released only to our audience in the next few days. But also, I want to take this time to shine the light on Japan as it gets ready to host the world for the Olympics. So I want to thank Susie, Nancy, and their teams for indulging Eureka and I on this journey. Now, putting this summit together, I have to admit, has been a Herculean effort. And there were many times where I could really identify with that little fella. So, as I look for my notes, I wanted to take this time to thank a number of people who made this possible. First, I wanted to thank the speakers who believed in us and supported us and continued to join us even when the venue changed. I wanted to thank the fantastic team at Singapore Tourism Bureau for welcoming us with, the amount of efficiency and just grace that they could. And a special shout out to Irvin, if you are in the audience. You know what you did for us. But last but not the least, I want to say a special thank you to the teams, the incredible teams at the Grand Hyatt Hong Kong and the Grand Hyatt Singapore. Mia, Karina, and your teams were extraordinary and are extraordinary. The grace and composure with which the baton was passed from one venue to another was truly remarkable. And I always say you can tell what people are truly made of in times like these. So, Mr. Hoptamazian, wherever you may be, Mr. Vondrasek, and certainly Mr. Udell, I want you to know you have a first-rate team. My hope is when we part in 3 days, we would have won your hearts with the gracious hospitality that Asia is known for. That we would have inspired your minds with the limitless potential of our region, but more importantly, that we would have warmed your bellies with the incredible food that Singapore is known for. Thank you.